What we are about to discuss is absolutely disgusting. We're talking about 21 babies. This is not a daycare situation, but 21 babies under one roof in a quiet suburban home in Arcadia, California. And before you ask, no, this is not a maternity ward. This is what authorities are now calling a black market surrogacy ring. You heard that right. These are kinds of stories that remind you how everything is broken. The laws, ethic, oversights, all of it. So let's dive deeper in this disgusting story. This all came to light when authorities believe it was just a simple welfare check. But they walked in a holy shit situation. 21 babies, all packed under one roof. These babies were all being taken care of with rotating nannies. No adoption documentation, no official guardianship, according to officials, and some of the infants looked visibly ill. And the couples behind this were well dressed, well mannered, a woman and a man in their late 40s, who allegedly claimed to run a home care, but they had zero documentation or licensing. They weren't fostering, and they certainly weren't adopting. And here's what the neighbors had to say. It felt off. You don't expect to hear crying babies from a house with no strollers on the porch, according to an Arcadia neighbor. Turns out they were allegedly acting like brokers, importing surrogate babies overseas as if they were merchandise and waiting to sell them. Investigators believe this was an international surrogate scheme. Women were reportedly recruited or coerced to become surrogate mothers overseas, and then they would hand off these babies to this couple. These babies were held in limbo until wealthy foreign clients, some in Canada and some in Europe, can claim them under the radar legal loophole. And yes, this happened in broad daylight in 2025. What's worse, authorities believe this was running for quite some years and nobody noticed. Like, this is mind-boggling. There were no red flags at immigration. There were no welfare checks. There were no reports from the neighbors. And you know why? Because the house was clean, the couple was polite, but the kids were out of sight. This is what happens when people weaponize privileges. And money makes everything invincible, which is so upsetting. Now, these couples are facing multiple felony charges: child endangerment, unlicensed daycare, falsifying documents, and pending federal trafficking charges. But the truly chilling part of this, a lot of these babies have no documentation, no paper trail, no birth certificate, no legal identity. According to Arcadia PD, we're working to identify each child and establish guardianship. This means these babies born through unknown surrogates are essentially stateless, ghosts in the system. And the heartbreaking part is one of the surrogates from Laos is now coming forward, claiming she was one of the surrogates and she would like her baby back. She says that she's never consented to permanent separation and she's demanding custody. So we're not only dealing with trafficking and fraud, we're now dealing with emotional devastation. A mother who may have been exploited is now fighting for the custody of her child, while that child may legally not even exist. This isn't just about a corrupt couple. It is a global commercial surrogacy industry that are working in the gray zone with vulnerable women who are just trying to make a family's dream come true, and newborns unfortunately caught in the middle. Which raises the question, when do we stop calling this a reproductive choice and start calling them exploitation? Now, this isn't an attack on surrogacy, but if you can buy a baby with fewer checks, then it takes for buying a dog, something is extremely wrong here. Thank you for watching Unhinged with Caroline. And don't forget, if you like this type of coverage, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below. I would like you to let me know if this is an isolated horror story or are we just scratching the surface. Either way, the fact that it took 21 babies living under in one house to get anyone's attention, that's all you need to know about how civilized we are.